Did you know that 25 times 25 and 2 5/10 times 2 5/10 are related facts? Look at these two multiplication problems and tell me what you notice. Do you see that the digits in the problem are the same and the digits in the product are also the same? I see a 2 and a 5 times a 2 and a 5 equals a 6, a 2, and a 5. The difference is the placement of the decimal. And guess what else? As long as the problem has a 2 and a 5 times a 2 and a 5, the product will have the same digits, 6, 2, 5. The only difference is that decimal point's moving around. This is because all base 10 numbers behave the same way. And what this means is that if I can multiply whole numbers, I can also multiply decimal numbers. Today we are going to learn two different strategies that will help us with multiplying decimals. The first strategy is called estimation, and the second one is counting decimal places. Now notice in all of our problems today, the multiplication has been done for us. We are simply using these strategies to figure out where to place the decimal in our product. The actual multiplication will come in the next lesson. So for our first problem, we have 4 5/10 times 7. The first thing we're going to do is estimate my product. We're going to round every number to a whole number or to a number that's easy to multiply. So 4 5/10, if I round this to the nearest whole, 5 or more raise the score, this rounds to 5 times 7. So we know our product should be somewhere around the number 35. The next thing we're going to do is count our decimal places, and that just means any number that comes after a decimal point. In this problem, we only have one decimal place. We have one digit that comes after a decimal point. So we're going to take our product, 315, and we're going to change this number so that it also has one decimal place or one number after a decimal point. Then we're going to double check. Did this number match my estimate? 31 5/10 is pretty close to 35. Let's try this strategy again. Now we have 7 26/100 times 23. Let's do an estimate and start with rounding. This is closer to 7 than it is to 8 because of my 2 in the tenths place. So my 7 times, I don't know how to multiply by 23, but I do know how to multiply by 20 is a nice rounded number. So my estimate should be somewhere in the ballpark of 140. Just to give me a sense. How many decimal places do I have? How many digits come after a decimal point in this problem? I have 2 decimal places. Now I'm going to take my product. The multiplication has been done for me. Tomorrow, we will be doing that multiplying. 16,698. Let's get rid of that comma for a second and change this number so that it also has 2 decimal places or 2 digits after the decimal. 166 98/100 is in the ballpark of 140, which means that was a good estimate. All right, one more example. 7 4/10 times 3 8/10. First strategy, we're going to estimate our product. 7 4/10, is that closer to 7 or closer to 8? 4 or less, let it rest, means this is closer to 7. 3 8/10, 5 or more raise the score. This 8 in the tenths place tells me this number is closer to 4. 7 times 4 is 28. We are looking for a number that is somewhere near 28. All right, this is the first time we've had 2 decimal numbers, but it doesn't change the process. We have one number after a decimal point here and one number after a decimal point here, which means I have 2 digits that come after decimals, 2 decimal places. So I'm going to take my product, no comma, 2,812, and I'm going to give this number 2 digits that come after a decimal point, 28 and 12/100. Look at my estimate. Look how close I was. Nice job, everybody. Want the worksheet I'm using in this video? Click on the link below and get the full packet, including partner practice, 3 pages of independent practice, a challenge page for your early finishers, and an exit quiz. Thank you for watching and happy teaching!